Well, let me start with offering obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, for whom we're deeply indebted. We're here because of him, and Jai Sachi Sutta. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bodhane Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sindhavadi Paschatya Desatadine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. How many persons that are here are attending a Japa retreat for the first time? Quite a few. Wow. Good experience? A little different, huh? But a good experience. Now let's do this one. How many, so listen carefully, how many have already completed 64 rounds or intend to complete 64 rounds before the end of the day? Wow. For those of you that raise your hand just a second time, how many of you is the first time ever that you've done such a thing, chant 64 rounds? 64? You really? How old are you? 10. If I was 10 years old and chanted 64 rounds, wow. Congratulations. Now, commonly what we do in this session is ask for volunteers, but I'm also very good at identifying, calling on persons without persons volunteering. I know how to do that. And we start with how many rounds, and then succinctly, not a long autobiography, but what your journey was today in chanting, however the many rounds were that you chanted, and what were some of the primary or principal resources that gave you support. And then if there's, a stretch of time that it was, like I said, Bhattahari said, like a desert, very, very, very difficult, dry. What was that like? And how did you keep going? So though it's simple. I'm going to look for some volunteers. Yeah. You look like you're in one of the senior citizen departments categories.
Yes.
Like me.
Yes.
What's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff.
Well, I was initiated in '73, but not in this organization.
Okay.
It's Krishnadas.
Okay.
So I struggled at home with the 16.
Okay.
I underestimated the power of doing japa in a room full of people. I mean, at home I'm just in my room, it's dark, and 16 is a banner day, all at one sitting.
Really?
And I underestimated the energy I'd get from the crowd. I also underestimated what it would feel like chanting in front of the deities and the pictures. And I'll just say, these were the easiest rounds I've ever done in my life.
How old are you? How old are you?
77.
Me too. I just turned 77. Just turned 77, just a few days back.
Yeah, I mean November.
Yeah, but December. So you're older than me by a month. But you know, I started a little before you, like, you know, 57 years ago. I, you know, was a college kid, and Krishna's mercy, I met devotees. And, you know, this Maha Mantra sign, this over your right shoulder there, you know, somehow the Maha Mantra and the devotees and Prasadam and Bhagavad Gita, and so you know, Zoom.
Yeah. It started for me in '72. I was in the Army, and there were these Hare Krishna guys out in front of the store, and I said, oh, you know, let me give them a little guff. You know? So I asked them, what the heck is going on here? And what kind of language are you guys speaking? Right? So they were delighted that someone paid attention. Right? And I ended up buying Bhagavad Gita as it is and a Krishna book from it. We had to pile in my car because they couldn't actually sell things on the street, so we all piled in my car, and I bought them. And
nice.
And that was it. For me, it was Krishna from then on. When just reading, when he said, "You're not the body, you're the soul," that was it for me. I was
hooked.
Krishna was that was it.
We'll have to do a little sharing another time because this is for everybody. But
yes, I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. I'll tell you my story too. So, thank you. This gentleman you were here yesterday also, just sitting there very solemnly. And would you like to share what your experience was today? Different.
Hare Krishna. My sankalpa and my prayer was to more deeply realize that Krishna and his name are the same.
Wow.
It was Donna Raj had communicated to me last month when I was telling him that I was struggling a little bit with Japa, that was what would make all the difference, and that realization. And I definitely feel that that realization has grown a lot in these last couple of days, and probably especially today, with, you know, chanting in front of the deities and with all the devotees. It's really been a blessing.
A comment on your comment. It's easy to take things for granted, and then hearing both of you say the same thing, you know, the blessing, the being with the devotees. And so those of us that have had much more association with chanting and, you know, kirtan and all this, it's just Prabhupada's mercy, and, you know, it's easy to take, too easy to just take it for granted. But there's a lot of Shakti, a lot of power, a lot of potency in these very simple activities. And one of the things that helps is tuning into it and with some sense of gratitude of the gift that's being given. And that goes for the holy name itself, or himself as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're elected. No, this little one. The 10-year-old. No, we're going to bring the microphone to you. So what's your name?
My name's Gopika.
Gopika. Nice name. Who gave you that name? Mom and Dad, right?
You?
I did. I did. Well, I'm not Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad told you I gave the name, right? You don't remember. You were too little.
My actual name's Dhriti that my parents gave, but they told me that you gave them 3 options for names, another name for me, and then...
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Now, would you like to share what your experience was today, besides zooming around the altar so many times? No? How many rounds you chanted?
67.
67. I know somebody that chanted something like 60, 66, 65, 66 because they wanted to make sure they didn't skip. So they chanted what might have been extra, it might have been just 64. Let's see what happens next year, huh? Gopika? Let's see what happens next year. Okay. Come on. We'll call on you. Then we're going to bring the microphone.
I'm very shy of sharing this. I'm on 26. I'll finish 32 before I sleep. And some reflections.
Yes.
I think I realized that having an intention while chanting was useful, and the messages on the screen were good reminders every so often.
Yeah.
It was useful. I realized that when I kept my eyes open, they wander, and then I'm looking at people, what they are doing, how they are moving, who is going where. So I realized to close my eyes, but when I tried to close my eyes,
Became sleepy?
Yes. So I realized that if your eyes are open, you should choose the object of focus carefully. And if your eyes are closed, we should be well rested, or at least start walking, something like that. I did take a power nap in the car after prasadam in the afternoon, but that was good. After that, I was more awake. And I think last thing was that it was inspiring to see a lot of fellow members, focusing towards the same end goal. And, there were folks who, were checking on me or, saying encouraging words. So it's definitely inspiring, and seeing some people make the best use of every moment, So
Practice.
Yeah, so those are my reflections.
Do you remember? You probably have a good memory, so you probably remember the Patanjali Yoga Sutra definition of abhyasa. Remember?
No.
There were 3. Every day, prolonged period of time with faith. So I'm mentioning that because I was thinking to say, what should have a plan for next year? I mean, next year, next Ekadashi, next opportunity to increase your chanting. Have a plan, and make the plan that's sustainable, and over a period of time, a plan that there's a margin for it to increase and expand and become, an unchanging, intrinsic part of your life over time, step by step. Okay. Yeah. No, right here.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. First of all, I would like to thank you for having this Japa retreat in Portland for the first time. So blessed to have and participate in the Japa retreat. The last 3 days was like theory classes, and today is a practical exam. Usually when we give an exam, we recollect what we studied, everything is coming in the exam paper or not. It was like that for me. And as always,
So how'd you do in the exam?
I'm going to reveal, Maharaj.
Okay.
I mean, it's a mix. Many times mind tried to play many games, as always, and many devotees during the sharing the reflections in the day before yesterday's session, many expressed that the mind trying to drift and trying to bring it back. It happened multiple times for me today. And one point I took from Yamuna Jivan Prabhu's journey map is, stepping up is, I mean, it's hard. Sliding down is pretty easy. I mean, anything, it can be building or collapsing is pretty easy. I personally experienced it today. When the mind is drifting, again bringing it back was a little hard, but again drifting, it's very easy. And personally, every lecture or every topic what you selected as part of the series was pretty much connected. And yesterday's question, I did mention about confidence. Constantly I was thinking about Krishna loves you, Krishna is at your back as a protector and maintainer. Krishna is his name, and he's constantly protecting you. And the last thing, as I mentioned, am I capable of restoring my relationship with Krishna?
Any answer?
That why question constantly I was keep asking. And am I chanting with affection, or am I doing mechanically, or it's just a dry? And multiple times you did mention, is it like a desert? I did experience multiple times, but again, and your two other topics from the heart, I constantly remembered that and tried to hear with the spiritual ear. I'm not sure whether I was able to hear with the spiritual ear or not, but as and when I open my eyes, multiple things are revolving around me, so I tried to close my ears, and one particular word or sentence which is constantly tried to bring me back is, be present and know I am here with you. The Krishna in a boat with every individual soul, that constantly touched me, and many times I was constantly remembering that to bring it back to track, or make sure that I remember, I hear the holy name constantly.
Good.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thanks for this opportunity.
And that's practice, or abhyasa, what you described. In a not matured stage of practice, but a practice. And then you practice practicing. And gradually it becomes standard. Okay.
Krishna Maharaj, whether my telling this is appropriate or not, I don't know. But before, in the past, 2 or 3 Japa retreats I have attended in the Seattle area. At that time, maybe young age made me, I didn't have any fear. I was just simple, calm, and chanted 64 rounds without any tension. But this time, somehow or other, from the beginning, mentally I was really tensed that whether I'd be able to finish it or not. Then for that reason, we got up at 2 a.m., took our bath.
Wow.
Then I started chanting. And by the time we came here, my 13 rounds were, first rounds 13 was over. But when we came here, and in the meantime, what happened, when I was chanting first time, I called my grandson, asked for something, and that he had told it should be Mauna Vrat. So it was not Mauna Vrat. Naturally, when I came here, I thought, oh, we reached here in time. So I thought, okay, I'll start from that 5:40 a.m. time. Then I started again, leaving that, started again, and started chanting. But somehow or other, the tense thing, I couldn't finish my 64 rounds by the time you prescribed. I still 16 rounds is left. That is the thing only I can say. Maybe old age, I don't know. But I wish you always conduct this Japa retreat here every time so that we can attend. Even though we are far away from comparatively to Portland people, but still we would physically, if I am fit, I'll definitely attend. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Krishna will help you. He's got your backside, right? Krishna will help you. The other one, as you said, the other 16. Everyone's looking invisible. He doesn't see me. Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for, as everybody said, for having the Japa retreat here. This is my first time attending. I have not known much about what to expect, but attending a couple of classes and then attending Jamuna Jivan Prabhu's class, I observed few points, which is the first one was the utsaha, so like even yesterday I did not decide if I'm going to do 64 or not. I told myself I'll try 32. So, but somehow I woke up early and I was able to, I was almost more than 20 rounds before even I came here for Mangalarti.
Shoo-wee.
So, because I knew my day would be harder for me to chant, that I have to go back and take care.
Right.
So, and few things very from your talks, like focusing on the holy name, here the chant and the power of association. I was able to complete. Feel really thankful for the association and your classes and for the learning for this journey. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Yeah. You take the microphone and you're next.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I would say my first 16 started slow. Then the next 32 were good. Then the last 16 were very hard. But when things got harder or my mind was distracting, actually prayer was the thing that helped me the most. And actually having the prayers on the screen was one thing which I really appreciated. And it also said when I spaced out and looked at the screen, it said don't space out. I think I needed to see that. So, like Mataji was sharing earlier, before the Japa retreat began, I thought 64, I don't think I can do that. But with the devotees, it was really possible. I also thought would I have done this if I'm at home on my own? And I clearly know the answer because yesterday I'm home, I'm off, and I hardly got my 16 rounds done. 64 is not going to happen. So, yeah, devotee association makes things possible.
A thought is, for those of you that want, either virtually or physically or some method on Ekadasis. So like, the next Japa retreat's some time away, maybe a year or whatever. But there's lots of Ekadasis in between. And on Ekadasi days, either some persons come together in your home or come together in the temple or virtually get together and do some extra something, both reading together and japa together, so that it's, it becomes part of your life, becomes part of your system. It's an encouragement or a suggestion. And I know there's some devotees that do that in some places. There's some devotees that do that every day they have a japa call. Do you have anything like that around here? No. Yes? Oh. Tell me.
Well, in Vancouver, we have Japa call in the morning.
Okay. For how long? How much time?
Starts, some devotees start at 3:30, but starts at 4 to 6.
4 o'clock until?
6.
Until 6. 2-hour japa call. So if that's something that is useful and practical with your lifestyle, with your responsibilities and so forth, consider joining this one or forming one or something. Reading together is another. Reading groups, devotees that like to get together, they have a similar liking of this type of literature, that type of literature, and there are all kinds of things like that going on all over the place. And, because I get letters that describe, so one group of devotees, they completed the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, and now they're entertaining, what's next, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, and would they just do that on their own? Probably not. But in association of others that have similar liking, not only they will, but they did, and benefited enormously. So, and cyber or Zoom is not as warm and invigorating as in person, but it's a good substitute for those of us that have busy lives. Some of us have really busy lives. I'm one. I missed some other things because, gosh, busy. But the commitment to some things that you do on a regular basis, it'll provide Shakti, spiritual strength. Okay. This is not a very volunteering crowd. What's going on? Okay, sure.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So I've attended a couple of Japa retreats in the past when I was very, very young. And so I remember I would chant 64 rounds, which was just moving the beads through my fingers. I don't even think I actually chanted one, but I would, say that I chanted 64 rounds. So it had been a while since I even thought about doing that number. And so yesterday night I told Hrishta, I was like, okay, we have to wake up at 5 in the morning. We're gonna get 16 before we get to the temple. And so that didn't happen. We got to the temple a little bit later than expected. And I remember thinking, I was like, I'm not even gonna be able to get 32 done. It's not gonna happen. But I told myself, okay, it's fine. Forget about, the 64 number. Let's just sit down and try to chant some good rounds. And then if I can even get to 30, that's good. It's fine. But and this hasn't happened in a while, but I remember I was just sitting in front of the deities and chanting, and it sort of got to the point where I wasn't really even thinking about what the number was. Like I didn't even realize when I got to 16, then got to 32, and the number just kept, increasing. And it's been a while since I've chanted rounds where I forget that I'm chanting for the number. And I would say one, that's because I was surrounded by devotees. Chanting in front of the deities also really helped. It was every time I opened my eyes, I had to look at them. So, and then I tried to implement something that I've been working on for the past year, which is intention, and starting each round with a very specific intention of either, a specific prayer towards Krishna, towards the Maha Mantra, and sticking to that for just that one round. And if I catch myself, drifting, being conscious enough to realize, okay, I'm not thinking about Krishna anymore, let me try to pull my mind back with that intention and then make the next mantra better than this past one. So I was just taking it a step at a time, pulling myself back to the prayer that I set at the beginning. And it helped. It's obviously some rounds were dry, but it got better, so.
Wow. Interesting experience. You started with the enthusiasm that fizzled. That's an interesting start. And then Krishna has his way of helping. He knows, the intention or the sincerity of each person, and you cultivate the sincerity, the insincerity or the intention muscle, and it just becomes stronger. So then you can move more quickly to the wholesome position, or Krishna can pick you up. Nice. Well, yes, I see two hands. Look at that. Wow.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for organizing this. So Maharaj, my experience was that since I set my mind, okay, this is the day, 64 rounds, here we go. So that Asat Krishna, took the back burner, right? So it's like I knew that this is the day. Once my mind was fixed on it, it was very easy to disengage from whatever that might be going on in this gadgets, and then fix my mind on chanting. And then my realization was that I actually like chanting. I like the whole package. It's like I like my beads, I like my bead bags, I like the this combination of the mantras, dancing together. I like the melodies that they form. I like the devotees who chant this. I like the whole thing. It's beautiful. Just on the materially speaking, it's like the process is beautiful. And I realized I like it. It's like I could chant forever. It's like the difficulty for me is that Asat Krishna. It's like when I'm like when the mind is not fixed on this, then the attachments to Asat takes over. Otherwise the process is fantastic.
A little meandering, but you're here. Behind you.
Hare Krishna Maharaji, thank you so much for organizing this Japa retreat.
I just came. I didn't organize anything. the kitchen department and the pujaris and the cleanup people and I just came. Okay, go ahead.
So one of the questions that you had in your presentations was, do you have confidence that you would become pure in this life? So I was in the other room with the devotees and I was discussing this with them because I had the daughter to take care. So I was there watching that.
Yesterday?
So, yes. Or day before yesterday. The first day.
Yes, first day.
So I answered that yes, I have the confidence. But then I was asking myself, what confidence is this? So I thought the confidence is that I will do anartha nivritti. And then later in Yamuna Jivan Prabhu's class yesterday, when he was discussing the Japa map, in that he explained that from anartha nivritti, if we have confidence, then we would lead to a desert. And in the desert, we would see that we have a lot of anarthas. So better, instead of having the confidence of, I will do anartha nivritti, better to have the confidence of trying to take shelter of the holy name. Because that is the next stage, nishtha. So I tried that and I think that helped me a lot. So thank you so much for that. Second thing which helped me, there were 4. Second thing was Yamuna Jivan Prabhu shared that Mahaprabhu likes to eat with those who chant 64 rounds. So in the afternoon I had to take the lunch. So I thought maybe I should wait and try to finish my rounds, all 64 rounds. And then I was procrastinating my mind. My mind was saying, I am hungry. Shishnitai Sachinam. So I was just procrastinating my mind, saying, just do 5 more rounds, then we will take prasad. Do 5 more rounds.
I'm curious, who won the battle?
Sorry, Maharaj?
Who won the battle? Your japa or your tongue?
At 54 round, my tongue won. Yeah, I had to eat that time because I was feeling very hungry. That was around 4:30 and I had to come to the temple. So, yeah. So that is new, which I learned, like procrastinate the mind, give them small goals instead of giving like do 64 rounds. That would be too much. So I was just giving, do 5 more, 8 more. So that was helping me. And the last thing I was thinking is, it's a nice experience. Why not try on Ekadashi? So maybe in this year I would try it on one of the Ekadashis. Maharaji, by your blessings. Hare Krishna.
Well, there's a few of them. Like 24 of them. Take your pick. And if you do 1, you may want to do 2. If you do 2, you may want to do 4. It doesn't have to be, as you know, in increments. As I'm sharing with you, with everybody, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a great acharya, and he wrote many books, and in those many books there's some key sayings that helped me a lot. One of those key sayings I live by is, I'll say it twice, progress is a series of small steps in the right direction. You have to have the destination, like a GPS. You have to have a destination. If you have a destination, you don't have to get there zoomed. You just steps in the right direction. You have a good GPS system, put in the destination and little steps in that direction. You'll get there. So, ekadasis or something, the steps, increments in the right direction. Be clear with the right direction. You may have to refine and readjust what that right direction definition is, because sometimes it's it's silly, or it's not realistic, or you don't even know what it means, but you're saying it because you heard it. But something that's yours, and then steps in that direction. And then have a little celebration, and then you go to the next step. It's like Krishna graduating from taking care of the calves to taking care of cows. Gopastami. like that. Have a little celebration. Okay. Your daughter is very enthusiastic. She's wants to wear your glasses, and I'm talking about you. No, she's going to get shy. Good. Okay. Poor mom. Go ahead, Arpana.
I think he was raising his hand first.
Well, you had your hand up. Oh, you'll put raising your arm for him.
No.
No. Okay, let's hear it. Whoever's someone. Short and sweet, right?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I did 41 rounds.
41.
And I took middle walks, going middle walks out, like going middle walks.
Yeah.
And then sitting down, chanting, then going middle walks.
And reading
then
your
chant.
comic books and everything.
Like I was taking middle walks and sitting, going for drinking water, like that.
Yeah, I saw you. Jumping up and down, going here and going there. But you did it. 41.
Yes, Maharaj.
How many beads you have on your string?
I don't know. 108.
108. You sure? 41. I don't know about that.
We started at 4. Okay, 4.
Okay, fantastic. Now, your daughter was very enthusiastic also. Would you like to share with us what your experience was? Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I chanted 26 rounds.
Really?
And
Mom is nodding yes. Go ahead, keep going.
And I felt happy when I was chanting 26 rounds. And I wanted to chant more and more rounds so then I can keep chanting every day for 2 hours, 1 hour. And yeah.
Fantastic. Let's see what happens tomorrow. One day at a time, right? Fantastic. Okay. Arpana, raise your hand.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I think you know that ever since I was a kid, I've always really struggled with japa. I remember at japa retreats, you would sometimes describe, I think you and Badahari Prabhu would sometimes describe how chanting could feel like a desert. And I was like, that's me every time. 2007, 2008, as a kid, it was very much about reaching the number and then kind of just tucking things. At the time, I wanted to try to be a bit more intentional, and I focused on the prayer that Srila Prabhupada offers when I think it's in the 1970 recording of him describing the purport for the Mahamantra. And he talks about, "Oh Lord, please engage me in your service." And so I had that up on my phone as kind of like an anchoring phrase. So as I moved the beads, I would mentally also repeat that phrase in my head. And since you know that I'm also attracted to Western theology, I was thinking of the prayer of St. Francis, where he says, "Oh Lord, let me be an instrument of your peace." And so focusing on that as well. And I also at the same time was kind of going back and forth looking at the Antya Lila verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita,
Yeah, you sent that.
which I kept reading it, and between rounds, just to help me feel centered and connected. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind. And so just that phrase, I think Chaita Prangana, the courtyard of the heart, really resonated with me, and also kind of reminded me of the Shikshastakam with the cleansing, Chaita Darpana Marjanam, really kind of focusing on how the holy name is innate in all jivas, but we've been covered for so long, and how the process of being Krishna conscious helps us reconnect with who we really are. And last comment I just wanted to share was that in the past, when doing japa, I typically would take a very combative approach with the mind. I know Yamunajivan, you talked about beating the mind, and that's, for me, as a kid and as like an adolescent, I spent a lot of time doing that, during japa retreats. But this time I thought, if I can't beat the odds, maybe I have to change the game a little bit. And so what I thought about was, what if I, instead of combating my mind in a very active sense, try to acknowledge the mind and the thought and bring it back to Krishna? So, for example, when I was chanting and I would open my eyes and I would get distracted by what someone was doing, I would think, wow, this person is also here chanting, connecting with Krishna inside of them. Krishna is also inside of me. And then there's the super soul. How awesome is that? And so kind of just focusing on how the Lord is everywhere and within all of the other devotees as well. And I think that made the japa more intentional and more focused. So for me, I felt like this was the first time that I was able to try to really connect with the holy name through japa, and it was a very special experience.
Check it out. That verse that you were reciting from Chaitanya Charitamrita has a source.
Oh, it's a Vidakta Madhav, the play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rupa Goswami.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. It goes from the ear to the heart, and dancing in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the mind. The mind becomes stunned, the senses become inert. It's a nice meditation. It's instructive. So, we have 5 minutes. Would you like to share? Huh? Okay.
Did you get voluntold?
I don't think so. Jivana, do you want to share what your experience is? Because I've invited him, he has participated in 3 of these 4 japa retreats. So he's been a speaker as well as a participant. So either here or just, in a general sense, in 4 minutes, or 3.5.
So I feel super privileged, Maharaj, to be following you around to these different places and absorbing in the topic of japa in general. Undeserved, but very fortunate. This morning it started off really sweet, really special. Just heart-touching. Before I started Japa, I started to recite, meditating on Queen Kunti's prayers. So I was reciting a few of Queen Kunti's prayers, especially after every 4 rounds. For the last month and a half, I've been reciting the Tvaime Nanya Vishaya verse, where she says, "May my mind flow to you, Krishna, like the Ganges flows to the ocean." And related to that, I was in November, I took my dad's ashes to Vrindavan. I had 1 day in Vrindavan. But that 1 day was just very special to be in front of Krishna Balaram and chant in front of them during Mangalarti. Very moving. Krishna Balaram are the deities that we were serving in St. Louis, and seeing Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan and being at their feet was very shelter giving. And so my japa since then has been, my mind has been going to Vrindavan, being at the feet of Krishna Balaram. And so Hare Krishna and then Hare Rama, Krishna Balaram. And here what's very, very interesting is that they have Krishna Balaram underneath Nitai Sachinandana. So I had some special moments during the 64 rounds. Those were the main things that gave me strength. And then something else that also I've been thinking about a lot, Marge, is I've been hearing Gita Nagari 2008 Japa retreats, and the message of my mind is blanking out now what I was meditating on. But the main thing that I was going to the whole time was to hear the spirit, hear the sound. And your lecture, after you finished the lecture this morning, and as I was trying to hear with the spiritual ear, what was a profound realization that happened for two full rounds is Krishna's name is very strong. It can overpower and wash away anything that is taking me away from Him. Through that name is really powerful. And so I felt it a little bit, but it was a little too powerful too, where I felt like I needed to step back because I don't feel like I'm ready for that degree of purification. So, and then there were dry times. There were times when my physical body was just not keeping up, so I took a walk. But I don't think I was I wasn't super distracted or anything. It wasn't as sweet or as special as the other times of chanting. That's all I'd like to share.
Okay. I'm looking at the clock. The clock says the Pujari is going to in a moment. So let us prepare ourselves for Arti. And whoever is going to the procedure for the microphone and all that stuff.
Can the devotees kindly put away all the mats, Hari? And then be present and chant responsively in front of the deities and Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hey guys. Okay, I think I saw him. Who's gonna do Narsinga Dev?